After the Trump-Putin summit in Alaska, global reactions have been mixed. While European leaders and Zelenskyy see it as a progress, skepticism remains in Ukraine and Russia. Citizens from both sides voice concerns about the lack of clear outcomes, highlighting the ongoing tension and the uncertain path ahead for peace.
After Alaska summit, US President Trump had a lengthy phone call with Ukrainian President Zelenskyy, spoke with NATO leaders, and briefed EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European leaders about his discussions in Alaska with Putin. Zelenskyy called Trump-Putin talks constructive, welcoming Trump's proposal for a trilateral meeting with Ukraine, the US, and Russia. Zelenskyy will visit the US for talks on Monday, confirmed by Trump on Truth Social. European leaders, including German Chancellor Merz and French President Macron, pledged ongoing support for Ukraine and pressure on Russia. They backed the idea of a three-way summit involving Trump, Zelenskyy, and European leaders. Macron stressed the importance of continuing to support Ukraine and put pressure on Russia, pledging France's involvement in coalition of the willing to achieve lasting peace with security guarantees. Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico welcomed the Trump-Putin talks, but warned that the European Union's approach may not lead to a quick end to the war.
The coming days will show whether the big players in the Union will support this process and will lead the Ukrainian conflict to a quick end, or whether the unsuccessful European strategy of trying to weaken Russia through this conflict with all kinds of literally incredible financial, political, or military assistance to Kyiv will continue.
India welcomed the Trump-Putin talks, calling them a step forward for peace. The Ministry of External Affairs emphasized the need for dialogue and diplomacy to end the conflict. Ukrainians in Zaporizhzhia expressed skepticism over the Trump-Putin talks, with local chaplain Viktor Tkach and soldiers criticizing the agreements made at the summit.
Putin and Trump made some agreements for their states, for everything to be in their favor. And here, in Zaporizhzhia, we will keep suffering. Glide bombs will keep falling on us.
Putin won. Trump showed his attitude towards him and at the same time towards us. This meeting did not end well for Ukraine, I think.
Moscow residents too expressed doubts about the results of the Putin-Trump talks, noting the lack of clear outcomes.
We are all waiting very much. Of course, we want the situation in the world to stabilize and the situation to become more favorable.
The main thing is that the meeting took place, and in general, everything important apparently progressed as it usually should behind closed door. I hope that all the agreement that have apparently been reached will be reached.
Well, of course, it is very important for us because we already want everyone to live together and peacefully because we live on Crimea. It concerns us like no one else because we cannot safely leave.
The Trump-Putin talks in Alaska have led to mixed reactions. European leaders and India view the discussions as a positive step toward peace, while skepticism remains in Ukraine and Russia. Moving forward, the outcome of the conflict will depend on continued diplomatic efforts and cooperation among global leaders. Mohammad Afzarul Hassan for DD India.